Hold up.
I hope you're having a great day and I hope you're staying safe at home. Today, I want to talk about how stress makes us sick, fat, inflamed, diabetic, hormonally out of balance, which in turn causes things like hair fall, skin problems, acne, alopecia, autoimmune conditions, basically everything. It's as simple as that. You see, everything is controlled by hormones. Hormones are chemical messengers. Chemical messengers are either communicating the right messages, good health, the wrong messages, poor health. As simple as that. No matter who you are, where you stay, what color you are, this can never change. These are the laws of nature. They can never change. Doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account, whether you have an organic farm growing behind you, doesn't matter which spiritual guru you meditate with. Nah, none of that stuff. Hormones will behave like hormones. They can be influenced by your environment, but it will not change the working of your hormones. Chemical messengers, messengers to communicate messages. The right messages, good health. The wrong messages, poor health. When you are stressed out, everyone says, because we know stress causes disease. How do we know? Because we see it all the time. But people say, yeah, we know stress causes disease. Give us a diet. You can have a diet. You can have a supplement, vitamin C, whatever you want. But let's understand one thing. If you are not working to make your stress levels better, your supplement and your diet and your medication cannot help you. Every time you get stressed, you produce a stress hormone called cortisol. Now, cortisol uses the same raw material that progesterone, which is another hormone, requires. So the more stressed I get, the more cortisol I require. The more cortisol I require, the less raw material for progesterone to build. So progesterone levels fall as cortisol goes up. So the more stress you have, the more cortisol, the lower your progesterone levels. It's as simple as that. Like I said, nothing can ever change that equation of biology, chemistry, and physiology. No one, nothing. High cortisol, low progesterone. Now, what do we need progesterone for? What are some of the symptoms of low progesterone? Number one, you cannot get pregnant. It is impossible for you to get pregnant if your progesterone levels are very low, because progesterone is required for the uterus to prepare for pregnancy. So let's say you've come to that time where you've decided to start a family and you and your husband are trying and you're not getting a kid. You're constantly stressed, cortisol high, progesterone low. Your body doesn't care about making a baby. Your body responds to survival first, which is fight and flight, stress. If there's stress, let me respond to stress. How does the body respond to stress? More cortisol levels, fight and flight response. As the stress levels come down, your cortisol comes down, your progesterone goes up, and now you provide the environment for childbirth to happen, for conception to happen. So there are no two ways about that. Now, of course, sometimes people have gone through medical issues where they have low progesterone for other issues as well, and that is taken care of medically. That's why we see hundreds and thousands of patients every single year who cannot have a child. And when they're stressed out, we tell them relax, teach them relaxation, teach them acceptance, letting go. Most of them conceive without having to go for IVF or any of the artificial procedures because it worked on progesterone. They had low progesterone levels. And of course, people who cannot do that go for IVF and all the other issues, which we don't have a problem for. I'm just trying to say, get your basics right. You cannot have a child if you are highly stressed and your progesterone levels are low. Okay? Progesterone regulates your monthly cycle. So if you constantly have irregular bleeding, different period cycles, pain, all of that stuff, your progesterone levels are low. You need to fix your progesterone levels in order to balance out your hormonal cycle and take care of all of these things, whether it's PCOS, acne, falling hair, weight gain. Okay? So you can't get pregnant with that. You've understood how stress causes high cortisol. Cortisol uses the same material to build, and progesterone goes down because your body will deplete what it needs to create something else. That's exactly how stress will cause you from having a child. Now let's see what else is going to happen if you have low progesterone levels. Headaches, migraines. You can take all the painkillers in the world, but if you're stressed and you have low progesterone because of your stress, your headaches and migraines will continue unless you address the root cause of the problem. Okay, take your meds, change your diet, do whatever you want, but you have to address stress, which we're going to talk about. Anxiety and depression is also linked with low progesterone levels, which is why when you have faulty periods, messed up cycles, you feel depressed, you have mood swings, and you are anxious. Ectopic pregnancies, miscarriages. Again, why? Low progesterone. If you have low progesterone, the uterus doesn't have what it needs for the egg to further develop. So we create, a lot of our miscarriages are created with low progesterone levels or extreme stress that starts happening after conception while the fetus is growing in the womb, which is why it is so important for a young mother or any mother who is pregnant to maintain low stress levels. So if you go back to the olden days, that's why women were separated from men, sent to a village area of no stress. I'm not saying that's practical today, but you can learn from the point that I'm trying to make. Less stress for a better pregnancy. Weight gain. If you have low progesterone levels, you will put on weight and wear in your abdominal area. A lot of body fat, stubborn fat, abdominal area, especially in the center. Okay? Because no matter how much you diet, how much you beat yourself up with fat diets and fat exercise programs, if your progesterone is low, okay, you will not lose that weight. Balance your hormones and exercise and eat clean. That's a better equation for your weight loss. Okay? Low libido, mood changes, low sex drive, because progesterone is a female sex hormone found in the ovaries. If you have low progesterone, no matter what you do, you will not feel the urge to have sex. You will not feel the urge to make love. Okay, you can take all the aphrodisiacs, you can take all the ashwagandha in the world, but no, it will not improve because you have a hormonal imbalance. You need the right amount of progesterone in order to feel the urge to have sex or to feel the pleasure of any intimacy that may be happening. If you don't, possibly low progesterone. Breast tenderness, fibrocystic breasts, fibroids. Everyone says that, oh, we don't know, these things just happen. They happen because you have low progesterone. So you need to fix your hormonal balance, especially if you have fibroids over and over again. And if you have fibrocystic breasts as well, you got to fix that. Your gallbladder as well. Low progesterone creates gallbladder problems. So it's not about just going and removing your gallbladder and popping antacid pills and stuff like that. Look at your hormonal imbalance. Like I said, your hormones control every function in the body. What do you think is communicating between your gut and your brain, your gallbladder and your liver, your pancreas, your blood sugar levels? Hormones again. Insulin for sugar, hormone. Thyroxine is a hormone. Cortisol is a hormone. Testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, all hormones, all chemical messengers. Wrong messages, poor health. Right messages, great health. So this is why stress is dangerous. Now, most people will say, yeah, but everyone has it. Yes, everyone has it. And there are drugs available also for everyone. Will you do it? No, you make a choice. It's how much you want to get better. The moment we believe and understand that stress is the root cause of all of our problems and we put priority on it, we assign value to it, that's the only time we'll start doing something about it. Until then, because the value isn't put on that, we will continue to chase fad diets, exercise, nutraceuticals, Ayurvedic powders, allopathic medicines that we believe is going to cure us. And if it cured us, then no one would be sick right now. Everyone would get the symptom and cure themselves. But right now we have chronic illness, which means people who are constantly sick with symptoms. So when it comes down to stress, there are so many things that you can do. What are you doing right now to reduce the stress in your life? I'm not saying the stressors, but your stress. If there's anything that you need to know about stress, number one, it is not the problem that is causing you to be stressed. It is your relation to the problem. It is how you relate to stress. There can be 10 people in a room, okay, and one problem that creates stress. All 10 people will not be impacted, because it's the way these 10 people will relate to that problem. Some people will see it as a challenge. Some people will see it as stress. Some people will develop fear from it. Some people will not even be bothered. They'll say big deal about it. So you see, any stress that you have in your life right now, which is being caused by a person, an event, or a situation, is nothing but the way you relate to that situation. How attached you are, how much emotionally entangled you are in that situation, that is your stress. Problems are always going to be there. They're going to be there in your kid's life, your teenager's life, your adult life, your parents' life, and even people who are 70, 80, and 90 years old. There will be stressors. It is the way you relate to everything that is happening in your life. So build your yoga practice, build your meditation practice, build your pranayama practice, exercise. It makes you feel better. Eat clean, because when you eat dirty, okay, you have a hormonal imbalance that makes you more and more stressed. Learn to sleep well at night. Okay, all of these little things. Learn the power of acceptance and letting go, because you are not in control of anything. The sooner you realize that, the sooner you will develop and cultivate the power to accept and let go, because you are in control of what you can accept and what you can let go of. There is no other way. There is no other way to reduce your stress. You can do all the stress management workshops you want in the world, but if you can't change the way you relate to a problem, a person, or a situation, that remains your stress. And that stress is going to cause a hormonal imbalance. That imbalance is going to cause every one of the problems that I spoke about. And all of these problems are related with every single disease, from the most deadliest like a cancer or an Alzheimer's to something as simple as acne popping up on your face, hair fall, or low energy levels. You have to look at your hormones at the end of the day. That is the root cause analysis of everyone's health. Stop putting band-aids over problems that need to be fixed at a root cause level. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and great day.